It is as tall as a giraffe, and it is watching you. Rewind 68 million years. This animal can fly. It is not flying. This is where it hunts. Everything we got wrong about the largest flyer ever starts here, on the ground. 68 million years ago, West Texas is a floodplain. Braided rivers wander through conifer stands and palms. Ponds fill in the wet season and crack open in the dry. The nearest ocean is hundreds of kilometers east. This is inland country, hot, seasonal, enormous. We know it now as the Javelina Formation, exposed across Big Bend National Park. And it is, by every measure, a good world. Alamosaurus herds move through it. Pterosaurus grazes the edges. There is water, shade, and food. And there is something standing at the tree line that science spent 50 years putting in the wrong place. Not the wrong species, the wrong world entirely. For decades, the textbooks flew this animal out over the sea to catch fish. There is no sea here. There never was. Mark Whitten and Darren Naish went looking for where azhdarchid pterosaurs actually turn up. The answer was not coastlines. It was floodplains. Inland, dry, exactly like this one. So look down. Under the Alamosaurus herds, the real prey base is knee-high. Hatchling dinosaurs, lizards, small mammals, anything that fits down a throat whole. It is the leading reconstruction, not a proven one. No azhdarchid has ever been found with its last meal still inside it. And the hunter that eats them does not need to fly at all. In 1971, Douglas Lawson, a graduate student walking an arroyo in Big Bend, found a wing bone eroding out of a hillside. He kept digging along it. The bone kept going. Juan Langston Jr. would spend the next 40 years of his life on what came out of that hill. 10 meters of wingspan, a single neck bone half a meter long, a skull estimated at 2.5 meters, longer than you are tall. Standing, its head sits 5 meters up. That is a giraffe that flies. They named it Quetzalcoatlus northropi, after the Aztec feathered serpent. Then the mass estimates came in. Roughly 250 kilograms, and that number is still argued over. Because nothing that heavy should ever leave the ground. Stand in that grove when it decides to leave, and the last thing you hear is not wings. It is a thud. Michael Habib ran the numbers on the forelimbs and found what everyone had missed. It does not run for a takeoff, it vaults. All 4 limbs load, the arms fire like a pole vault, and the animal punches itself 2.5 meters straight up, airborne in under a second. So it walks into any corner of this floodplain, hunts on foot all day, and exits vertically the instant anything objects. Every pond, every nest, every herd sits on the same table. Nothing else here can do both. Dawn. At a pond in what will become Big Bend, dozens of a second smaller species stand in the shallows. Quetzalcoatlus lawsoni, named only in 2021, in a monograph Juan Langston did not live to see published. 5-meter wingspans, working the water like herons. Midday. The giant is out on the open floodplain, walking. Head 5 meters up, scanning down. It is not chasing anything, it is inspecting. Ground hornbills do this today in Africa at 1/10 the size, pacing, stabbing, swallowing whole. Same job, same posture. Just imagine the shadow. Dusk. Somewhere, a hatchling goes still and the neck comes down. Every channel sells you the wingspan. The wingspan is not the frightening part. The walk is. This world holds for 2 million more years. Ponds fill, herds move. The giant walks. Then a rock the size of a city arrives at 20 kilometres a second, and the sky over Texas turns to a furnace. 66 million years ago, one afternoon. The impact does not have to hunt them down. It just removes the world underneath. The plants stop. The herds fail. The hatchlings that fed this animal every day are simply not born. And a 250-kilogram body needs a lot of days. Notice what actually killed it. Not the fire, the arithmetic. Not one pterosaur survives it, not on any continent. Quetzalcoatlus was not a Texas oddity. Hatshepsut did the same job on an island in what is now Romania. Aramborgiania did it in Jordan. Wherever the late Cretaceous stayed warm and stable long enough, azhdarchids grew until they hit the physical ceiling of flight, and then walked. And here is what people get wrong. Birds did not replace them. Birds were already there, in the same sky, for 80 million years. Pterosaurs were never outcompeted. They were deleted. Nothing has gone back up to that ceiling since. Nothing has been allowed to. If a giraffe that could fly just rearranged your sense of what is possible, there are dozens more animals like this one waiting. The fossil record is stranger than anything we invented. Evolution's most improbable builds, twice a week, on million-year journey. It flew, it walked. It ruled a floodplain with its feet. And then, the sky it had spent 160 million years learning to leave closed behind it, and stayed closed.